But that's not the most pressing issue facing the plant's owners and the government. To find out more, I need to go even deeper inside, and that means a full protective suit.
This is where the plant's highly radioactive contaminated water ends up. Anything that's been in or around the reactor and the molten fuel comes here and is processed through these pipes and filters to remove 62 different types of radioactive materials. But it's an extraordinarily challenging and complex task.
The problem is TEPCO is running out of space to...
We're cutting into programming for some breaking news. Immigration Minister Alex Hawke has cancelled the visa of tennis star Novak Djokovic. Djokovic was released from immigration detention earlier this week after successfully challenging an earlier attempt to send him home. However, Mr Hawke has used his ministerial powers to cancel the visa. Political reporter Matthew Doran joins me now from Parliament House. Matthew, talk us through the latest.
Well, Meredith, this statement has just come through from the Immigration Minister, Alex Hawke. We've been waiting days to see whether or not he would use that discretionary power to cancel Novak Djokovic's visa. And I'll read to you from the statement that's come from his office. It says, "Today I exercised my power under Section 133C, subsection 3 of the Migration Act to cancel the visa held by Mr Novak Djokovic on health and good order grounds on the basis that it was in the public interest to do so. This decision followed orders by the Federal Circuit and Family Court on the 10th of January, so that's Monday this week, quashing a prior cancellation decision on procedural fairness grounds. In making this decision, Alex Hawke says he carefully considered information provided to him by the Department of Home Affairs, the Australian Border Force and Mr Djokovic. He says the Morrison government is firmly committed to protecting Australia's borders, particularly in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic, and he says he thanks the officers of the Department of Home Affairs and the Australian Border Force who work every day to serve Australia's interests in increasingly challenging operational environments. Now, let's cast our minds back to what happened on Monday. This decision, well, not necessarily a decision or a ruling by the Federal Circuit Court, but there were a series of orders that were agreed to between the Commonwealth and Novak Djokovic's legal team, allowing him to stay in the country. And it related to what happened in the early hours of last Thursday morning, the 6th of January, when Novak Djokovic arrived in Melbourne ahead of the Australian Open. His visa was cancelled by Australian Border Force officers in the early hours of that morning, and the orders that came through that were agreed to on Monday in the court were that Australian Border Force officers had acted unreasonably. They hadn't given Novak Djokovic enough time to seek legal advice at the time, and therefore the decision to cancel his visa was overturned. Fast forward to now, and Immigration Minister Alex Hawke is using his ministerial powers to cancel the visa. These are powers on top of the ordinary operation of the Migration Act, where Alex Hawke can make those decisions. He can sign off on that decision being made, and Novak Djokovic is now very much in doubt for the Australian Open, regardless of the fact that we expect his lawyers to launch a legal challenge.